Kevin Feige has been pretty open about the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and one of the biggest takeaways is that while characters like Iron Man and Captain America will eventually be recast, it won't happen immediately. Marvel is waiting for the right moment, and that moment might come after Avengers Secret Wars in 2027. That movie seems to mark the end of one chapter and the start of another. And because Avengers Doomsday is set to follow, it leaves this interesting little gap in the release calendar that Marvel hasn't fully explained yet. That open spot? It could be the perfect time to drop Iron Man 4, and there's a bunch of clues that hint Marvel might be heading in that direction. One of the most talked about ideas is that Iron Man 4 could focus on Harley Keener, the kid who helped Tony Stark in Iron Man 3. He kind of disappeared after that, only popping up briefly in Endgame at Tony's funeral. But now that Ty Simpkins, the actor who played him, is 23, fans are starting to wonder if it's finally his time to suit up. And honestly, it makes sense. With Robert Downey Jr. stepping into a brand new role as Dr. Doom in Avengers Doomsday, Marvel has a golden opportunity to bring Harley Keener back into the fold, not as a side character, but as a rising hero who carries on Tony Stark's legacy. The idea of Keener becoming the new Iron Man, or even Iron Lad, is getting more and more traction, especially since Marvel's future now seems to be all about next-gen heroes. There's also the juicy rumor that Jon Favreau could return to direct Iron Man 4, which would make it feel like everything's coming full circle. After all, Favreau was the one who kicked off the MCU with Iron Man back in 2008, so having him come back to pass the torch through a new character like Harley would be kinda perfect. What adds more excitement is how Marvel could use Iron Man 4 to finally resolve some loose threads from earlier phases. Fans have pointed out for years how Harley Keener's significance was never really explained. He played a big role in Iron Man 3, too big for someone we were supposed to forget about. Then he randomly shows up at Tony's funeral in Endgame with no explanation. Marvel clearly had something planned, or at least left the door open, so now's the time to walk through it. Now, if Iron Man 4 does happen between Secret Wars and Doomsday, it actually makes a lot of sense. Marvel's being strategic with this release window. They're not only trying to reset the board after a multiverse explosion, but they're also trying to introduce a bunch of new IPs and younger characters to refresh the universe. So, putting Iron Man 4 there gives them a buffer, a way to slow things down before launching full speed into another Avengers-level threat. And it's been hinted that Marvel does plan to fill that spot with a movie that connects the dots and sets up new arcs. If Harley is the one stepping into the spotlight, it opens up a ton of possibilities. Imagine him trying to figure out who he is now that Tony's gone, building his own tech, maybe even failing at first. He's smart, he's resourceful, and he had that early bond with Stark, so he has a reason to want to live up to the legacy. And then imagine the emotional gut punch when he eventually finds out that Tony's face is now on one of the MCU's biggest villains, Dr. Doom. That's the twist that really changes everything, because having Robert Downey Jr. return not as Tony Stark but as Victor Von Doom completely messes with everyone's expectations, and it's going to be especially brutal for Harley, who looked up to Stark like a mentor. Seeing someone who looks like his hero but acts like the enemy, that's a perfect motivation for Harley to become a hero himself. It's poetic in a way. Stark gave him the tools, and now he has to decide what kind of legacy he wants to build with them. This also opens the door for Harley to take on the identity of Iron Lad, a name that already exists in the comics. Traditionally, Iron Lad is a younger version of Kang the Conqueror, but with Jonathan Majors no longer part of the MCU and the Kang dynasty basically being replaced with Doomsday, Marvel might want to rework that backstory. Instead of making Iron Lad a Kang variant, they could turn Harley into a totally separate character who still fits the role, a young armored hero with ties to the Avengers. It would also be a smart way to connect him to the Young Avengers, a team that Marvel has been slowly hinting at for a while now. Think about it. We've already got Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan, America Chavez, Cassie Lang, and even Riri Williams. Adding Harley to that mix, especially with a high-tech suit and a painful personal reason to fight, would add depth to the team. And the groundwork is already there. In the comics, Iron Lad forms the Young Avengers using plans from the Vision's operating system after the main Avengers are gone. The MCU could take a similar route. Maybe Harley finds something Stark left behind, a digital blueprint, an unfinished AI, or even a message for him, telling him it's time to assemble a new team. That would be a perfect way to launch the Young Avengers storyline. What's also exciting is how Iron Man 4 doesn't just have to be about one person filling Tony's shoes. It could be a kind of spiritual passing of the torch to multiple people. We already have Ironheart in the picture, and then there's War Machine, who's still active. So Harley's version of Iron Man doesn't need to be a straight-up copy of Tony. He could bring something new, something a little more grounded, maybe even more idealistic, especially after facing off against Doom. And that fight? It would be incredibly symbolic. Tony once saved Harley from being just another forgotten kid. Now, it's Harley's turn to fight against someone who looks like Tony but has become something twisted. That's the kind of emotional tension that could give Iron Man 4 a real impact, not just in terms of plot, but in terms of character development. It also gives Marvel a chance to address Tony's legacy in a deeper way. So many of the newer MCU characters have been inspired by him, directly or indirectly, but having someone like Harley, who actually spent time with the real Tony, go on this journey, that adds a layer no one else can really touch. He knew Stark when he was vulnerable, broken down, and hiding out in a garage in Tennessee. That counts for something. And if Marvel is trying to build the Young Avengers into a major Phase 7 storyline, Harley could even become the central figure in that team. He wouldn't just be another tech guy, he'd be the one who kicks things off, much like Tony did for the original Avengers. It's a great way to echo the past while building something new. So, to bring it all together, we're looking at a situation where Marvel has a clear opening between Secret Wars and Doomsday, and all signs point to that being the right time for Iron Man 4. The pieces are there, Harley Keener's arc is unfinished, Ty Simpkins is the right age, and Robert Downey Jr.'s return as Dr. Doom adds just the right amount of emotional tension. It's the kind of story that could blend old and new perfectly. A little bit of nostalgia, a fresh face in the armor, and a twist that reshapes everything we thought we knew about Tony Stark. Iron Man 4 wouldn't just be about a new guy in a suit, it'd be about redefining what it means to be a hero in a world still haunted by its past. And for fans who have been waiting since 2013 to see what happened to that smart kid in the garage, this would be the most satisfying payoff possible. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.